right, now it's time for us to get into it. When I say get into it, we've been talking for a long time. I want to talk about iRocky, everybody, because iRocky is a new movie moving forward, which sounds pretty great, but is it just a biopic? That's the question I'm throwing out to you. But Peter Farrelly came forward, and he has been working on this project about Stallone. And it's about Stallone's whole path to making the Rocky movie. And if you don't know about this, it's actually quite the story about how they'd offered him like this money, trying to lowball him, try to sell it off, get all the rights. And he's like, no, I want to star in it. It's a big deal. I want to star in it. So he actually waited, held on to the rights for nothing, made the movie, and eventually made a lot of money off the Rocky franchise, as we know. The log line for this movie is, here it goes. And it's about a struggling actor with a partially paralyzed face and a speech impediment writes a script that big movie studios want to buy, but he refuses to sell it until he gets to play the lead. Now, turning down an offer of a lifetime, changing his whole life with all this money, he instead works for pennies to get the movie made by himself in a starring role, and the movie becomes the biggest box office ever in 1976. So it's kind of a biopic for that time in his life. I think it could be fun. Who could play Stallone? Why don't we just call this a biopic? That's my question going on the table. And is this something that we actually want to see? Does it make sense? Is it good? Now, Stallone's kind of had some bad press recently with all of the bad trash talk on set over on Tuscan King. What's it called? Tucson King. What's it called, Jordan? Tucson.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa.
I was way off.
The King of Tulsa. Tulsa King.
The King of Tulsa. But what do we think about this? Is it a good idea? It's not. Jordan, you love Rocky.
I love Rocky. I love Stallone. I watched all Stallone.
Is this good for you?
I even watched what's that one where he played a gangster comedian? Oscar. I watched that one.
Oh yeah, Oscar.
But I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, why do we do this?
You don't like it, really?
Are they going to cover his porn career before he became an actor?
Well, if it's at that time, maybe,
I mean, no. Why? And who can play Rocky?
I don't want to know about his porn career.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Nobody
Jordan,
does.
who can play Rocky?
I mean, why do we need Rambo? I want what they want.
Who can play Rocky, Jordan?
You don't hold that weapon like that. And
Timothy Chalamet?
No.
Look at the man. Like fucking Rocky.
Have Sly play it younger.
De-age him?
De-age him.
De-age him.
De-age him. Make him slow, young.
How about they get that one dude that played his kid in the one Rocky from Heroes?
Oh, Milo.
He had the cock.
He's perfect.
And everything.
I love Milo. I've worked for that fool before. He's a great guy. He's really cool. Yeah. And I have friends that worked on This Is Us, and they said he is so cool. So
he played his kid in Rocky Balboa, and everybody, even Stallone said it was something to get somebody that had the same lip impediment I do.
that was a thing.
You joke like that?
Just so we know, the audience does not think that was real. That whole thing over at the Brady thing. So, yep, we got all the votes in, and 100% does not think it was real. So we're mixed with you out there in the chat, but thank you for voting with us. It means a lot to us. I think that I think it's hard to cast alone. I think all this is tough to make. Again, it is like a biopic, like a small chapter of a biopic of his life. And I think that's tough to just do that. But I love the idea that you were going to tell how the story, because it's been like over the years, like news all for a long time about like he sold his dog and what happened to actually make this movie. He got his dog back. It's a good hero's journey. Ron, do you think like you hear about
his dog was in Rocky?
No.
Yeah, you don't think this is actually something that'll work out?
I don't think anybody cares. I just don't. And clearly by my attitude, I don't. And the fact you said he sold his dog? No.
He sold his dog?
No, I didn't know that. Now that I know that, no.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, there was a whole thing. He sold his dog, and the guy like actually had him pay a lot more money to get his dog back.
I don't care. That doesn't make it right. That's horrible.
Would you ever sell your dog? I mean, that's tough to sell your dog for a script.
No.
No, he sold the dog so he could live.
Is that what it was, GR?
Yeah, he had no money to pay rent or food. And he sold his dog. He was crying when he did it, and the guy even said that. And then when he got some money, he actually went and paid more money to get the dog back than he than he got to get food.
Make sure that story.
The dog ended up in the Rocky movies anyway.
He had that dog from the time he got him back until the dog died.
Yeah, because the dog was butt kissed.
The dog was butt kissed, really?
That was his real name, Bupkis.
Bupkis?
Wow. Do you think, GR, that this has any place nowadays that people will care to even go out and watch this, especially the Creed movies being so big? Do you think that would lead to, more of an audience for this?
Unlike Ron, I think it would be it's a good biopic. But is it going to be a mind blower? No, but I'd watch it just because I like the story behind it. A struggling actor, like some of us here, and, I would love to see a story like that have a happy ending, and his did.
Yeah, I think it did. I think he did have a very happy ending. And think about how he grew and he got. Rocky. Good. he lost a lot. He lost a lot of the rights to Rocky too, which is very unfortunate. And that's what happens sometimes in Hollywood. And even like with the Creed movies, like they kind of cut him out of that shit completely, which we talked about multiple times.
That was chicken shit, is what that was.
I think so too. Ron, do you think they'd actually cover that at all? Or do you think it's just going to stop with the script being sold a happy ending and we got this movie made and that's all that the story is to be?
Hopefully, if it does happen, it would stop at just the script being sold and that's that. It's because I think to linger on is one of those, oh my God, another 15 minutes, which I die in movie theaters. So I do think it would stop there and I would hope it would stop there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to stop with the Oscar win.
You think the Oscar win, Jordan? That's how far it's going to go?
I think it could fast forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool. Like
or you could actually, in the credits, you could show the actual footage.
Oh.
People love staying through credits. Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's good.
And actually show him like accepting the award.
Just at the beginning of the credits, sometimes they got real footage of like when they do like sports movie biopics or something, they got the real actors and stuff, and real athletes.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, that could be really cool. I can see that happening.
Thanks, Jordan.
Does nobody want to see this though, really? I mean, Jared wants to see this.
No.
Jordan doesn't want to see this. Ron doesn't want to see it.
No,
it just sounds like we all know this.
I want to see it. Okay,
we all know the story. It just sounds like something you hear. I mean, on his DVD commentary.
Yeah, it is. It's a commentary. That's
not that bad. It's a DC comic.
well, that's what's weird about it too. It's like they're trying to be like, this is a story about a guy who does this, as if it's like not a real thing, and it is a real thing. Like again, that's why I want to talk about this too. It's like, this is not his biopic. This is a small chapter. Is he going to have is his biopic going to cover this as well? What do you think, GR? Is his biopic going to cover this small chapter as well as having a movie, a separate spinoff of this time in his life? I mean, it's just weird that you have this without being part of his.
I'm sorry.
No, get in there.
If it doesn't cover that, it's a worthless biopic.
Mm-hmm. It needs to.
That is such an important moment in his life. If it doesn't cover it in a biopic, it's not a biopic.
Yeah, it's a big part. It's a big freaking part in his life. That's why I thought it was weird that they're just throwing this as some nonchalant moment, And then, but I think that
you were talking about this as a biopic.
Death Race.
Otherwise, shit.
But I Play Rocky. Is this, Ron, is this a way of him getting better in people's eyes after all that controversy last month, do you think? Because, that whole thing came forward about him trash talking the extras, trash talking people saying they're ugly and they shouldn't be here, which can happen for a casting error. But is this a way of him just kind of battling that, do you think?
Well, I think normally it would be, but the fact that you'd have to be kind of thinking about this for a while and putting some pen to paper for a while on this, it would be longer. It would go back further than this, the negative press from last month. Don't you think?
I would think so too.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah,
but maybe they've been sitting on it for a while though too, and this is a way of that's why I say maybe they've been sitting on it. An idea. These guys have been trying to make this for a second.
I think it's ego stroking ego.
Yeah. It's just people see this and they think, oh well, it's an idea. But then again, it's just weird that it's like not a biopic. It's just weird that it's its own separate entity to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems odd to me. What's the chat say? Thing? Stallone was also the Woody Allen comedy Bananas. He played a mugger in that. Bananas. I don't know what that is.
I remember.
Yeah. He's
What's
not
Bananas?
going to top.
Your life.
What's
Stallone
Bananas?
will never top Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
I love that movie. I love Demolition Man as well.
Oh, who doesn't love a Demolition Man?
The three shells.
Seashells.
Yeah, the three shells.
Seashells.
It's like, yeah, I know. But I love the Rocky movies. And when I went to Philadelphia, one time I had a layover where I got stuck in Philadelphia for the night. I grabbed an Uber. I went to the steps. I took a bunch of shots of whiskey and I ran the steps. I had to. I videoed the whole thing on Instagram Live. It was fun.
That's
what?
cool.
The shadow boxing at the top?
I did the shadow boxing. His statue, unfortunately, was at the bottom of the steps, which I didn't know until I ran up. It was like around the corner. Yeah.
They moved it.
They moved it, yeah.
They moved the top and they moved it back down.
I was very upset about that. I'm like, come on, this is Rocky.
So out of shape people can still see the statue instead of climbing the
without
steps.
running like 50 steps up to the very top and be like, oh, and like sweating their asses off.
Well, some of us are too old to run up those steps.
I got a bad hip.
I Play Rocky is a thing, everybody. I Play Rocky about the Stallone story is moving forward, and I bet Stallone will be a part of this for sure. And it's interesting. I actually will watch this. I know GR said he'll watch this. I'll watch this too. Rocky and the Fonz together in a movie. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, I just think it's a good story about like a hero's journey, if you will. It just depends how it's written and how they tackle it. But a hero's journey without being too on the nose, I think, if they do it right. But I do think that this is a big chapter of like any actor that has an opportunity to like happens all the time. People come to Hollywood, they have an idea, they sell it off and they get nothing from it. And that's what happens generally. It's like your first time script, your first time deal, and you like sell it off hoping that the next one's the next big one. That's the business. And he stuck to his guns and stayed and tried and true, and it made his career. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen these days, especially. I think that's why it's a good like positive thought about coming here, but it's really not the business anymore. I don't think it would work. I think nobody would have bought this shit nowadays. Rocky 4 is amazing. Rocky fucking 4. It's so good. I mean, we all know that.
Can change. Yous can change.
We all can change. Adrian. Drink, Jordan. Drink.
It's better if two guys are killing each other. 10 million.
Oh, Jordan's getting in there. Pepe.
Jordan, you went too far.
Pepe, is this gonna be a success or what? Fail. Oh, Pepe thinks it's gonna fail, huh? He thinks it's gonna fail.
We won't forget. We can't forget Rambo, Queen. Rambo is my go-to.
Rambo is so good. So good.
I had to do a paper for a class in college, and my paper was to it was like a convincing. You had to convince your audience of something, and I remember my report was I had a whole presentation on why Rambo was a national icon.
You did not.
That's brilliant. That's awesome.
And I got a fucking A for it because
of course
I was quoting I was like, hey, you made it when the president of the United States. I mean, George Bush was quoting Rambo at the time. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah. That's really cool, Jordan. Good story, man. Good story.
Yeah. Jordan.
Can we?
I didn't know you were that smart.
Come on, guys. Drinky.